A racist neighbor's attack uncovered a national security conspiracy. The words cut through our quiet Saturday morning like a knife. That black kid doesn't belong in our neighborhood. I stood frozen at my kitchen window, watching my 19-year-old son, Marcus, unload his University of Virginia duffel bag from his car. Across the street, our neighbor, Karen Mitchell, stood in her neon green tracksuit, pointing at him like he was a criminal. Little did she know, the real threat was the man in my home office, reviewing classified Pentagon briefings. My name is Angela Harper, and this is the story of how a racist HOA tyrant's attack on my family unraveled a conspiracy that shook our suburban world to its core. We lived in Pinecrest Meadows, a tidy Virginia subdivision where picket fences and manicured lawns hid secrets deeper than anyone could imagine. Marcus had just returned from a summer internship at a DC think tank, his mind buzzing with policy research. But to Karen, a 45-year-old former realtor turned self-appointed neighborhood watchdog, his presence was a crime. She circled his sedan, snapping photos and muttering about suspicious vehicles. Her voice carried across the street, loud enough for neighbors to peek through their blinds. This wasn't just harassment, it was a performance. "Marcus, come inside," I called, my voice tight with fury. He adjusted his glasses, clutching his internship papers, and gave Karen a polite nod. "Ma'am, this is my family's home," he said, calm but firm. Karen scoffed, pulling a thick folder from her purse. "According to my records," she declared, "this residence shows patterns of suspicious activity, unusual vehicles, gatherings of young adults, and signs of drug trafficking." I nearly dropped my coffee. Drug trafficking? My son, who spent his summer analyzing economic policy, was being accused of running a cartel. I stepped onto the porch, my 25 years as a corporate lawyer kicking in. "Karen, what gives you the right to harass my son on our property?" Her eyes gleamed with smug authority. "As an HOA representative, I'm protecting our community's safety and property values. Your unauthorized resident is a threat." The word unauthorized hit like a slap. This wasn't just racism, it was calculated, backed by a folder full of timestamps and photos. She'd been watching us for weeks. What Karen didn't know was that my husband, Colonel David Langston, was upstairs, coordinating national security operations. David wasn't just a Pentagon officer, had clearances that gave him access to secrets most people couldn't fathom. While Karen played suburban dictator, David dealt with real threats to the nation. The irony was almost poetic. As Karen ranted, our front door opened, and David stepped out. Even in jeans, he carried an aura that made people snap to attention. Karen faltered mid-sentence, sensing something she couldn't place. "Everything under control?" David asked, his voice calm but laced with the steel of a man who'd faced far worse than a nosy neighbor. Karen, oblivious to the shift, doubled down. "Sir, I'm addressing violations by this unauthorized individual," she said, gesturing at Marcus. "I'm prepared to involve federal authorities to protect our community." The word federal hung in the air like a grenade. David's eyes narrowed, a look I'd seen only when he was assessing a serious threat. Karen had no idea she'd just threatened a Pentagon colonel's family in front of a man who briefed senators. What happened next would turn our quiet weekend into a national security firestorm. Monday morning, sirens woke me at 6:30 a.m. 3 police cruisers screeched into our driveway, lights flashing. My heart sank. Karen had escalated her game. Detective Laura Martinez, a no-nonsense officer in her 40s, approached our door with 2 younger cops, Officers Ryan and Kim. "Mrs. Harper," Martinez said, "we received a report of suspicious activity, possible drug trafficking and aggressive behavior." She hesitated, adding, "The documentation was unusually detailed for a noise complaint." David joined me at the door, his presence shifting the mood. Martinez's posture stiffened slightly as if she sensed his authority. Officer Ryan read from a tablet, his voice uneasy. "The complainant alleges this residence operates a drug distribution network with coordinated vehicle arrivals and gang recruitment activities. She's filed reports with the DEA, FBI, and Homeland Security, claiming a national security threat." I felt my blood boil. Karen hadn't just called the cops, tried to drag federal agencies into her racist vendetta. David's stillness was unnerving, the kind that meant he was processing at lightning speed. Martinez, sensing the gravity, asked, "Are either of you connected to federal agencies? False reports to federal authorities could be obstruction of justice." David reached into his wallet and produced a badge that made Martinez's eyes widen. "Colonel David Langston, Pentagon Strategic Operations," he said quietly, angling the badge away from prying neighbors. We need to discuss Mrs. Mitchell's activities. The mood shifted instantly. Martinez straightened, Ryan stopped reading, and Kim took a step back. David's voice turned icy. By filing false reports about a Pentagon officer's residence, Mrs. Mitchell may have committed federal crimes. If she's been surveilling my family, we're talking security violations. Martinez grabbed her radio. Dispatch, patch me to the Federal Liaison Office. This needs escalation. Across the street, I saw Karen's curtains twitch, her neon green tracksuit flashing. She thought she was winning. She had no idea she'd just triggered protocols designed to protect national security assets. Tuesday morning, a black SUV with government plates pulled up. Agent Emily Torres from the FBI's Civil Rights Division stepped out, radiating authority. Mrs. Harper, she said, showing her badge, your family has been targeted with systematic harassment that may have federal implications. David emerged from his office, ending a call about threat assessments. Agent Torres, he said, this is more than harassment, isn't it? Torres nodded, pulling up a tablet with chilling images. Karen using telephoto lenses to photograph our cars, logs of our routines, and notes on Marcus's internship. Mrs. Mitchell isn't just targeting you, Torres said. She's been documenting 12 military families across 3 neighborhoods. The scope was staggering. This wasn't random racism, it was professional-grade surveillance. Then came the bombshell. Mitchell received $50,000 over 8 months from Patriot Security Solutions, a contractor tied to foreign clients. Torres revealed. Karen wasn't just a racist neighbor, she was a paid operative, using her HOA role to gather intelligence on military families. David's face darkened. She's been accessing classified data about my work. Torres nodded. Your clearance level made your family a high-value target. As we processed this, I saw Karen's car across the street, suitcases being loaded frantically. She's running, I said. Torres barked into her radio. All units, the subject is fleeing. Move in. Black SUVs materialized, blocking our street. Agents in tactical gear surrounded Karen's house as she stood frozen, a suitcase in hand, realizing her game was over. Wednesday afternoon, Torres's radio crackled with news that shattered my coffee mug on the kitchen floor. Simultaneous arrests in Virginia, Maryland, and North Carolina, a voice reported. This is bigger than we thought. Torres turned to me. We need to discuss Marcus's internship. His research may have triggered this. Marcus's think tank project analyzed foreign influence in suburbs near military bases. 3 weeks earlier, he'd submitted a report flagging harassment patterns matching Karen's behavior. They targeted us because Marcus got too close, I said, pride and fear colliding. Torres showed me a list of named 6 neighbors, including our HOA president, a local doctor, and our realtor, Lisa Bennett, who'd sold us our home. They were long-term assets, placed to monitor military families for years. Thursday at 5:47 a.m., helicopters jolted me awake. Military Blackhawks landed in our park, disgorging special forces. David was on the phone, his voice clipped. Yes, sir. We need extraction protocols. Agent Torres appeared with a tactical team. The Chinese operatives have escalated to an active intelligence operation. Your family is a high-value target. As we boarded a helicopter, I saw federal agents raiding 8 homes, including Lisa's office. Chinese diplomatic vehicles circled our neighborhood, no longer just watching. At a classified Pentagon facility, General Margaret Hayes briefed us. This network has targeted military families for 5 years, preparing to kidnap relatives during international crises, she said. Marcus spoke up. My research showed the harassment targeted families with teens or college kids' leverage points. A call on David's secure line turned his face pale. Chinese operatives tried to breach our neighborhood's perimeter, he said. This is now a hostile foreign intelligence action on U.S. soil. Friday at 2:17 p.m., we returned under heavy protection to retrieve evidence. Our street looked like a war zone, cordoned off with military checkpoints. Karen stood in handcuffs, flanked by Chinese diplomats demanding her release, claiming diplomatic immunity. David stepped forward, producing a badge that made them flinch. Colonel David Langston, clearance level cosmic, he said. This woman is under arrest for espionage. No immunity applies. Karen's face collapsed as she whispered, You're SDF-7. Agent Torres leaned in. SDF-7 is a clearance fewer than 50 people have. Your husband coordinates responses to existential threats. The Chinese diplomats fled, abandoning Karen, who sank to her knees. David addressed the crowd. This investigation is now classified under SDF-7 protocols. Neighbors gaped, realizing the quiet man next door held power beyond their imagination. 6 months later, Marcus testified before Congress. His internship exposed a network of 43 operatives, including 17 Chinese agents and 12 American collaborators. Karen was sentenced to 25 years for espionage and hate crimes. Judge Evelyn Carter's words rang out. This case shows America will not tolerate foreign espionage disguised as harassment. Marcus received a Defense Department scholarship and a Pentagon job offer. His research became the standard for protecting military families. David was promoted to Brigadier General, leading a new anti-espionage division. Pinecrest Meadows transformed, welcoming diverse military families under a reformed HOA. Congress passed the Military Family Safety Act, ensuring protections nationwide. As I look out my window at our vibrant neighborhood, I see the Korean family who bought Karen's house, their daughter now Marcus's friend. What began with a racist attack ended with justice, transforming our community and national security. What do you think about this story? Have you ever faced injustice or violence in your community? Share your thoughts in the comments, take a stand, and let's discuss how we can fight back against hate and protect our neighborhoods.